with your first fighter with a 1-0 record out of Hobbs Jackson Wink MMA out of Concord, North Carolina. Please welcome Dagan Williams.
Another fighter from that Hobbs Jackson Wink team making his appearance once again here at Fight For It. Dagan Williams, we've seen him in his debut here at Fight For It where he was victorious.
5 more fights to go after this one. 5 more fights to go, including
Tonight,
3 pro fights.
He's taking on Maddox Wendt.
170-pound title belt on the line. Don't go nowhere. You won't want to miss that one. I promise you.
Maddox Wendt, another one of those guys who doesn't have a win on his record, but in the 2 fights he's lost, he's still been very impressive. And as a kickboxer, before he transitioned to MMA, he was one of my favorite guys to watch. And Dagan in his last fight just looked so good. I'm curious as to what the motivation was for Maddox to go up against a guy who's making his debut and looked really good in his debut, other than just like, I don't want an easy fight. I want to get my first win against a guy who's tough and has wins.
Well, there has to be a belief in himself that he's able to get that victory for sure.
And he certainly does. You know, Maddox Wendt not lacking for confidence, I would say. Neither is Williams.
And his opponent looking to make a comeback and get that first victory in an MMA cage out of Lake Norman Muay Thai from Mooresville, North Carolina. Fighting out of the blue corner, it's Maddox Wendt.
No stranger to the Grady Cole Center, or Fight For It for that matter. Maddox Wendt. We saw him, come up kind of in the past 3 years, kind of become from a teenager to a young man and transition around from different sports. An incredible kickboxer, lightning fast athlete. Now has had a kind of a tough start in MMA. One of those losses came from Jonathan Flores, who we saw earlier tonight. And if you watched his fight, you would know that's a tough guy to put yourself in there against, So Maddox Wendt looking to come out tonight, collect that first W that has eluded him thus far as he returns to the Grady Cole Center. That's Maddox's father there. He is a great guy. As a guy who, the first time I ever met him, he pulled me to the side to tell me how wrong my commentary was on his son's fights and give me all my notes about what I did wrong. And then when I sat there and listened to him the whole time, he was like, "Why did you just sit here and listen to me? You're a great guy. I'm sorry." So we just had like a good moment together, And now every time I see him at the fight, he's one of my favorite people to see. He's one of those guys who, there's so many dads that want their sons to be successful in this sport, but not many of them are willing to do what that man is doing and stay behind that rail, not be in the corner.
Yeah.
Give that slot to a coach or someone who can actually, has the experience of helping him in there. He's hands off, but extremely supportive, and that's a hard thing to find in parents in this sport, in my opinion.
I think it's a hard thing to find with parents in any sport. Most sports.
There's nothing wrong with being extremely invested in your kid's success, but you have to realize that a wise investment is a good coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's got a great coach in JT, the Money Man Smith. Maddox, if I would say there's something you got to do for Maddox, it's calm him down a little bit. He's been a bat out of hell in a lot of those early fights. Maybe if he can rein it in a little bit. In MMA, you got to have multiple gears to cycle through. You can't just have one speed. Dagan Williams in the white beige shorts, and Maddox is in the black.
The action doesn't stop here. Catch the full fight and every explosive moment only on Fight For It Plus. Stream the entire event, past and present fights, exclusive interviews, and more, all in one place. Available now on Apple, Android, Roku, and Amazon Fire Stick. Sign up and subscribe today at app.fightforitcompany.com, where the fight never ends.